It's time for a new Cover Price Top 10 list to start the new year. Animals and monsters rule the list, and is Mark Spears the new Dave Stevens? Let's take a look at the books that made the list and why, up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hello, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. And before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the description of this video for links to my eBay store, my email, my whatnot, and my Instagram. We are doing the weekly Cover Price Top 10 list. Cover Price is an independent comic book pricing service, and they aggregate data of sales of comics, both graded and raw, and that raw sales makes them kind of unique. And they also publish several articles throughout the week, and one is the top 10 books that are moving most in the aftermarket. Not the books that are going for the highest values or showing the biggest increase, but the books that are selling. So there are always some new and some old. So let's take a look at the top 10, and we're going to jump into that right now. Coming in at number 10, Edge of the Spider-Verse, number 5. And this is the first appearance of Penny Parker, who we saw in the Spider-Verse films. This also is the series where number 2 is the first Gwen Stacy and number 1 is the first Spider-Man Noir. So a lot of keys in this run. And this book is about a $40, $50 book in high grade and upwards of $150 plus in a 9.8. And if we look at the historical 9.8, there are 985 copies in the census. 72.8% of them are 9.8s. Now, let's take a look at this book as it has trended over time. The most recent sales are in the 160, 160, 150 range. Where's our sales history? Let's reload this. There we go. And this book started off, it was $100, around $100 before the boom, and then it jumped up in conjunction with the Spider-Verse news, up over $300 and has settled down. Did have a little jump when the second film came out and is having this upswing now. The Marvel Rivals effect continues, bringing new awareness to a more comic-accurate SPDR and Penny Parker than we received in Sony Pictures Animation Spider-Verse films. While they were fun in the first film, Rivals fans get a version closer to what Gerard Way intended, and fans seem to love them, hence the renewed interest in their first appearance. So again, we're going to the Marvel Rivals really pushing the books into the top 10. I don't think, and if you disagree, let me know in the comments, I don't think that the video game interest is going to have more of an impact than the movie interest, just because the movies are so omnipresent. A lot more people see the movies than play the video games, although the people that collect comics are going to see the movies and play the video games. I would think more are going to see the movies, but I could be wrong. Anyway, let's go to number 9 on the list. And this is Seven Soldiers Frankenstein number 3. This is the first appearance of The Bride, the modernized version of The Bride of Frankenstein. This is a book that $25 to $40 in high grade and up to $200 in a 9.8. A recent sale of a 9.6 for $165. That's because only 5 on the census. This might have been last week's data. Let's see if it's changed. The way CGC is moving, probably not quickly. 5 on the census, only 3 9/8. I know I have a couple copies of this book. So there's only been one sale at $200 recently for a 9.8. And we can see a sale of $165 in a 9.6. In HBO's animated series Creature Commandos, which premiered on December 5th, The Bride of Frankenstein, simply referred to as The Bride, in the DC Universe emerges as a central character. Voiced by Indira Varma, The Bride serves as the team's point of view character, offering depth and emotional resonance to the narrative. Her first appearance in this issue has been lingering on the runner-up list for weeks now and finally made her way here. Will we see this character in live action? I think better than average chance at some point, because James Gunn did say that the animated versions could be played by the same actors in live action. And I'm really enjoying the Creature Commandos series. it is entertaining, and also it's a lot more economical when you have these fantastical creatures, and you can do it through animation rather than figuring out practical effects, makeup / CGI. And it could be more of a focus on the story. Let's go to number 8, and it's Jeff, the Jeff-verse #1. This book, again, not really many 9/8, just because somebody got one for $27. There aren't many of them. They're more than the Frankenstein book. We can see 36 on the census, 32 of the 36 are 9/8, but nobody's selling them. And this is another Marvel Rivals book. While Jeff books have moved off the list this week, the little land shark we love is still chewing up the aftermarket. So why is the second series the only Jeff book still lingering? Well, that's hard to say. His first series was met with plenty of fanfare. This one snuck by shops a bit, most likely leaving this print run to be smaller. It's also a collection of some of his online-only stories that folks may have missed and now get a physical version of them. So, yeah, they're probably just a lower supply of this in general. Let's go to number 7 on the list. Ultimate Universe, 1 year in. Spoiler, this is the first appearance of the Ultimate Nick Fury and Wolverine. This is the spoiler variant in which we see Wolverine on the cover, and it's going for $15 to $20. Hasn't yet really hit 9/8 because not enough copies have come back. Ultimate Wolverine, enough said. Well, we can expand on that a bit more. This issue introduces us to the Ultimate Universe version of Wolverine, making his debut in this reimagined Marvel Universe and exploring how he fits into the revamped Ultimate line. It provides fans with a glimpse of his new origins and dynamics in this alternate continuity, adding fresh twists to the iconic character. Let's go to number 6. From Ultimate to Absolute. Absolute Wonder Woman #1. DC's Absolute Universe has been popular. About a $10 book and maybe $60 or so in 9.8. We'll take a look at the 9.8 counts in a bit. There are a couple of variant covers. There's a Dan Panosian one in 25. And let's see, what's just a quick glimpse. What's the most expensive? Probably be the rarest. Oh, they did a Scotty Young web store. That's about $50. Souza Micah, Eastside Comics Virgin, Souza Micah Comic Corner, so Souza Micah. Anyway, Absolute Wonder Woman. This has been out for a couple months. And is there any census data yet? Still no census data discovered by Go Collect. I have to imagine that this has been submitted. And we're talking two months since it came out. Is it that slow down in Sarasota? Written by Kelly Thompson with art by Hayden Sherman, Absolute Wonder Woman returns to the top 10. If you haven't picked up a copy, it introduces a reimagined Diana as the last Amazon raised in hell by Cersei, now serving as the protector of Elseworld. This series offers a dark fantasy twist on Wonder Woman's origin. I've been reading this series. I've also been reading the Ultimate series. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the Wonder Woman. I probably like the Superman the best. But Batman and Wonder Woman have both been excellent. I am kind of a purist, though. I do like the original incarnation of the characters and just, little tweaks rather than complete reimaginings. But these are classic characters. And there's nothing wrong with a reimagining as long as DC still maintains those historical characters. Obviously, we got a reboot in the late 50s from DC with new versions of Flash and Green Lantern, Hawkman and Atom, etc. So we can have different versions of the character exist, and I think we'll be okay as long as the stories are good. Let's go to number 5 on the list. And number 5, Mark Spears Monsters #1. This is the cover A. Wow, the American copy's over $100. 9/8, 285. This has just been a monster book. There are only 15 graded. 2 9/9s, 12 9/8s, and a 9/6. Let's look at the 9/8s because there are just more of them. The first 2 sold for $150, $190, then $261, $270. So over the course of a month, the price has been going up. Still, only 15 of them in the census. That's kind of amazing to see that small account on the census. After 1 week off the top 10, Mark Spear's Monsters #1 by Keen Spot is back. One might think the heat is worn off from the holidays. That's clearly not the case. For those wondering if the book deserves its fanfare, it's worth resharing this entry from a recent Bleeding Cool article. Keen Spot has received pre-orders from Diamond for Mark Spear's #3 of 37,572 copies, an unheard of 239% increase for pre-orders at #2, which itself increased 29% from #1. So #3 is not going to be as valuable. Mark Spear's Monsters #3 is scheduled for release on January 29th with a cover price of $5.99 and a total print run of 42,000 copies. Based on publicly available sales figures, it took The Walking Dead something like 8 years and 80 issues to have orders of 30,000 copies or more of a single issue, said Chris Crosby, CEO of Keenspot. It took Invincible 100 issues. Mark Spear's Monsters did it in a few months. Clearly, fans love this book, hence the high aftermarket attention. I haven't read it yet. I only got #2. I'm getting #3. I didn't get #1. It's the artwork. And Mark Spear's artwork, he's done other work, and it's stuff to keep an eye out on. And we'll take a look at it. Let's jump to #4 on the list. And #4 on the list, Crypto in Superman, Volume 2, number 170 from 2001. It's about a $20 book, a recent sale of $150 and a 9.8. And there are only 16 copies on the census, 6 of them 9.8s. And nothing's really sold below a 9.8, which is not unusual for, a 2001 book. This is going to be in dollar bins. As more come, Crypto, everybody loved Crypto. Everybody's looking for Crypto covers now. Crypto seems to be moving more than Crypto. Even going back to, I don't know what the best offer accepted was back in 2021, but back in June, it sold for $220, which is kind of surprising for a Superman book from 2001 that was a reasonably high print run, but just not a lot of 9.8s. A new Crypto cover joins the top 10 this week thanks to the Superman trailer, really getting collectors all aboard the Crypto train. While most are picking this up for the great Ed McGuinness cover, the story is a pretty great Crypto story to boot. Superman 170 by Jeff Loeb, with art by Dale Keown and Cam Smith, has Superman and Lois Lane suddenly attacked by Mongol and his sister Mongal, leading Crypto to fiercely defend Lois and nearly killing Mongol. Concerned about Crypto's power, Superman takes him to the Fortress of Solitude for safekeeping. This comic highlights Crypto's protective instincts and Superman's challenges in managing a superpowered pet, which I think we will see in the movie, because he's still a dog, a dog that has like freaking heat vision and super strength and stuff. So anyway, that's '4. Coming in at #3 on the list, staying on the list, is Superman 680 with this classic Crypto cover by Alex Ross. 9.6s back in November went for $160 and 9.8s for $125. About a $40 book raw. I think I got mine recently for $20. Not sure if it's going to be a 9.8. Does need, if I can clean it up. The bones are there. I need to do a real good clean and press job. And we can see this 43 copies on the census, 29 and 9.8. So not a huge number of 9.8s available. But this book back in 2022 sold for over $200, and it only went as low as about 108. So we'll see if as more come to sale. There are also a good number of signature series. Ross is a guy that does sign books, so there is that. If you're a fan of Crypto, then this is a permanent piece to your collection, as collectors recognize this is the definitive modern Crypto cover and storyline that features a heartfelt highlight of Crypto's heroism and bond with Superman, a theme clearly played out in the immensely hot new Superman trailer. As we noted last week, while this is not Crypto's first appearance, this book is much more affordable and easier to find in the wild. While it slips from #1 to #3 this week, we still have plenty of time until we see our favorite superpowered dog on screen. And coming in at #2, and this is a recent book. It is Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger, issue 1, the Todd McFarlane black and white 150 Virgin variant, drawn by McFarlane, Origin Gunslinger Spawn. The regular cover is still commanding a good hefty value. Near me copies going for $200. That is insanity for 150. But when you get McFarlane drawing it, moving from #7 to #2 this week showcases the immense love the aftermarket has for Gunslinger Spawn and Spawn variants. This issue's exploration of the character makes it a must-have for collectors. And the 1 of 50 Virgin, McFarlane cover. Well, what made number one on the list? And this is kind of surprising. It's Return of the Living Dead. From American Mythology Productions. It came out last week. It's a cover by Mark Spears. There are a number of variants, including some of them by Spears. This book's selling for about $20, and we see a near mint sale of $90. So it's all over the place. Something probably not a lot of folks ordered. Man, every cover Mark Spears has produced lately has turned to paper gold. But you knew this as you pay close attention to the Lefteros FOC report. I don't. And we're able to order a copy from your LCS at cover, right? Of course you did. Even if not, despite copies hitting as high as $90, my comic shop was listing these on their site and eBay for cover price right up until yesterday at one per person. While this did drag the fair market value down and steamrolled over the retailers hoping to keep up that at that higher price, it's already rebounding back up with a current FMV of $15 raw. Return of the Living Dead number one. Let's see, it's on eBay. Just out of, maybe I'll get one. Return of the Living Dead 1. 99. $23.96, $19.99, $75, $149. Let's see. Let's say we want something between $1, under $15. See if there's anything. It doesn't look like any cover A's are available. $14.99 is probably the best you're going to do. That's a pretty cool cover, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get it, just because I always warn you about brand new covers. But Mark Spears is a guy to keep an eye out for. So that does the top 10. And this kind of reminds me of the CGC I'm doing, and like kind of how Matt Baker and some other of the very popular Golden Age artists didn't work for the main publishers. They were working for smaller publishers. And that's what Mark Spears is doing. And he's obviously got very much a horror bent. Let's take a look. There's no runners-up covers, but the runners-up are here. This is... What do we got here? Kidpool Spider-Boy number 1 on 1 in 25. Introduction to the MCU version of Kidpool. Daredevil number was this 183. I actually just sold one of these in my Whatnot sale Monday night. I sold it for $190, which is right around FMV. I think this book is going to increase in popularity a little bit, as I did. It was a 9.8. As we get closer to the Daredevil TV series, DC All-In Special, first appearance of Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, Hulk number 1. I saw a new trailer that I hadn't seen before. I don't know if it's brand new for Captain America, Brave New World, with New Year's Eve coverage. Absolute Batman number 1. And this one I'm not completely familiar with. Dust to Dust number 1 just came out. I don't know. The Olivier Coipel and Matt Wilson 120 variant. I'm in the dark a little bit. War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas. This is, what is this book at number 18? We have Absolute Batman 2, the second print. The Batmobile Wraparound 1 in 25. That's kind of cool. Batmobile Wraparound. Yeah. Spawn number 1. And then this book, this is Action Comics, is it? Superwoman Special number 1. Mark Spears 1 in 25 cover. So that does it for the cover price list. Let me know what you think of books on this list, and do you have any? If I look, how many of these do I actually have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most of them are these books. 6, 7. I don't think I have any more Hulk ones. 8, 9, 10. I have half of them. So let me know what you think. In the meantime, you can take a look at a couple of my other videos here. And this is Jim saying, until next time, enjoy your comics.